Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about different types of assessments. Of course, I am still only a student. I don't really know too much about these assessments, but hopefully this could be a good resource for you if you are new to this field or if you want to learn more about it. And so there are pretty much 4 different general areas of assessments or general types of assessments. There is a cognitive assessment, there's social emotional assessment, there's adaptive functioning, and then there's academic assessments like educational academic achievement. And so we're going to be looking at the different categories, what they test, and some examples. For cognitive assessments, this is probably what school psychologists do the most. It is basically an IQ test, shows you their cognitive ability. So basically it's an IQ test. Some examples of cognitive assessments are the WISC. WISC is very popular. There's the DOS, there's a WJ, there's a Stanford Binet, there's a KBC, the list goes on. There's so many, but typically for a comprehensive report, you will always give a cognitive assessment to make sure students are not intellectually disabled, to make sure that their cognition is intact. So it's a very important part of our report and just investigation for what's going on with our students and with their children. Secondly is social emotional behavioral assessments. So these are really important because we need to make sure students are doing well socially or emotionally, or if there is a problem we can kind of pinpoint it and help them out the best that we could. So there's different ways you can do these assessments. You can do observations, which are very, very important. Observations during testing or going into the classroom and just taking notes about their behaviors, what you're seeing in the classroom. Interviews are really important. Interviews with the child if they're old enough, with the teachers, with the parents. Projective measures are very useful, like could be having them draw a picture after you give them some instructions, or sentence completion if you give them a sheet with the beginning part of the sentence and they'll just fill in the blank, kind of like Mad Libs, but it gives you really good insight into how they are feeling, their perception of themselves and the world. Also storytelling. There's one assessment where you show them a picture and they're supposed to tell you a story based on that picture. So some examples of these assessments are the SIBA, the Basque, Connors, and the Roberts, and there's so many different assessments that you can use depending on the child and the child's needs. And so rating scales are really important for social emotional assessments because especially for kids, if they are lacking social skills or if they are having a really hard time regulating their emotions, you need the parents and the teachers to kind of tell you what's going on. Third is adaptive functioning, and this is the students' self-help skills. And so some social emotional assessments will have rating scales about how well the student can like take care of themselves, or if they can go to the bathroom, like dress themselves and like feed themselves, etc. But there's also something called the Vineland and the ABAS and some other assessments that just specifically look into adaptive skills. And so this is kind of important for students with intellectual disabilities or autism, and usually these are just given to parents or teachers, rating scales to see how much the student can do, and then we can always track data by seeing if they improve or if they learn new skills after their first assessment. And lastly, there are academic achievement assessments. And so some examples of these would be the Wyatt, the KTEA, the WJ test of achievement, CBMs, like test scores in the classroom, benchmarks, like classroom grades, school grades, so everything school related. And for academic achievement, it's basically things that they are learning in school and to see how much they know. For tests like the Wyatt or the KTEA, in some school districts, the school psychologist will be doing those tests as well. But if you get lucky, you will get an educational diagnostician in your school to be helping you with those assessments. So they come in really clutch because they kind of focus on those academic testings, and then you can focus on cognitive testing, and then you can come together, kind of paint a full picture of the child before eligibility. So yeah, that's it. I mean, this was a very, very brief overview of the different types of assessments that are given in schools. I hope it was useful or helpful in some way, especially for those who are looking into the field. Hopefully it gives you some kind of idea of what school psychologists do or what kind of goes on in the school system. And so, yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!